we're back again with 32, episode 32. I was surprised because there's no swearing, no funny words being said before the transition, so no giggles.
I know, there are no giggles. Unfortunately, no one said fart or shard.
Shid.
Fart? Oh my
That's too
gosh.
good. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I can't talk. Thank you, Mr. Nerdwire, Mr. KB, for being here as well. We took a week off. My son's third birthday party was last weekend, but I'm excited to get back into some normalcy here. What's the tea? What's news, gang?
What's the tea?
What is the tea?
I've got
What is the
coffee
tea, KB? What you got, buddy? What you got this week?
What do I got this week?
What'd you do? Did you do anything cool?
Not really. I mean, I got
some stuff.
I got a PO box set up.
Oh,
that
nice.
was a nightmare and a half.
What's the address?
It's
Maybe
just a form, right? It's just a form, isn't it? And then like $120 or $180.
It was the two forms of ID, and I didn't have what they were looking for. And then they were like, because I put Mrs. KB's name on it, and I'm like, well, she's working, so you're gonna have to work with me here to give me my friggin' money back. And
oh my gosh,
it was yeah.
That is a mess.
The whole thing. Well, like the car insurance and her car, because I sold all my shit. It's all in her name. So like I'm added to the car insurance, but like they go, you need to have another form of ID, like a non-ID ID. And I'm like, brother, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, I got a credit card bill. I got a phone bill. Like, what will those work? They said, you got a mortgage? I said, nope, not in my name. They're like, do you own your car? I said, sure don't, sold it. And like, I'm standing there and I'm like, I don't have what you want. Like, I came here.
How can you afford this PO box?
I came here with a passport and my driver's license and like a couple bills. What more can I give you?
Passport and a driver's license not enough.
They
That's
wanted
two very valid government forms of ID.
Apparently not at the United States Postal Office.
Oh, it's a different breed over there.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. Then, yeah, it was a whole thing. I was there for probably 20 minutes just to pick up keys. So, like, that was fun.
Every time I go to a post office, I get hit with different rules, depending on who I talk to at the post office.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is an older gentleman. Whenever I went to drop off the records to ship them out for Eric back in, I don't even remember when that was. That was a while back now at this point. But the gentleman that I took them up to, he goes, "Why are these written like this?" And I go, "What do you mean? Why are these written like this?" He goes, "The addresses are backwards." I go, "I don't." The dude that sent these to me is Australian. Like, I don't know why it's written like this. It doesn't matter.
It said to and from on it.
It matters. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, he said to from, and he's like, "How do you say this? How do you say that name?" And I'm like, "What name?" And the name on here, EREK. Oh, that's Eric. How do you say it? Erect? Like, my God. But it was that.
Dude.
And then, like, whenever I ship stuff for Mrs. Nerd, because she does a photography business, we'll ship out photos, photogs, I almost said.
Right.
We'll ship out photos to people. And, like, it depends. Some ladies there, sorry to dox their gender, but some ladies there will look at the Fragile sticker and go, oh, it's fine.
No.
We'll go ahead and ship at the cheap rate. But then I go talk to the dude who pronounces Eric's name as erect and he goes, well, now I got to ship this first class. It's going to be like 5 times the price.
Oh,
and I'm like, I hate you. I don't like you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonder why they're all miserable in there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I mean, that's all I had. We're getting closer to warmer weather, so I have that itch to get the bike like uncovered and weather ready. But I mean, we'll see.
It's
Probably end of March, I'll get it. Yeah, I know. No, excited.
Feels like, I don't know. I'm still stuck on that gentleman, right? And like, I'm still thinking about that and seething. It's like Napoleon syndrome. Sorry. Now back to the bike.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Bike. It's fine. I mean, I'll tell you what, dude. I had the two of them like go back and forth. Well, do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm just like, bro, I came here with what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me my keys and let's go. Let me sign the form and let's go. I've already paid for it. I'm not here like, let's go. Let's do something. Work with me here. So that was my frustration. I mean, other than that, dude, I've just been playing video games and just hanging out.
What Eric do? You had birthday party.
I had my son's birthday party last Sunday, and then Monday I went to the rehearsal studio and recorded a bunch of stuff for some upcoming songs and an upcoming record. I started working on like the mixing of those, and I found out that several, not just one, but several tracks did not record properly. So I have to head.
Just one.
It wasn't just one. It was others. So that somebody really pissed in my cereal that day, and it was me. So that's that. But anyway, I like it. You know, I've got a ton of music coming, a ton more than I have alluded to. I think only the person here that may know about it would be Marky Mark. But I mean, like, you know, it was a hell of a thing getting up to the rehearsal studio and setting up the old new drum kit there with all the mics and figuring out how that all works and sounded. And it's actually come up pretty okay. You know, I've got some got some good results happening. You know, it's going. We're just
awesome, dude.
Plugging away.
Looking forward to hearing some more stuff, man.
Same.
I think it'll be good. It'll be good. You should go live more often. Like seriously, when you go do those recording sessions, because
I will.
Like the drums sounded really good on the stream, and even though like there wasn't a lot of interaction, I think it'd just be cool to like see your process still yet. And it was during the waking hours for us Americans, not the vampire hours. So like, it was just nice seeing your face on the internet.
Yeah, this is the thing is like my rehearsal time was from 9 to 5, and so like I book a rehearsal studio. I don't go to a recording, like they do operate recording stuff there, but I record myself rather than having somebody else record me because I can do that. It doesn't make sense for me to pay like $600 a day to have somebody there and have an engineer there. So anyway, I do everything myself. So I set up all the mics, I set up the kit. So I was there from 9 to 4:30. Like my left hand could not move after a while just because like I don't play drums often. My hands started to shut down, so I had to stop. So I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but man, it was good, and I will stream more because it's kind of like a behind the scenes thing. Like it doesn't matter if I'm interacting or not. It's like here's a camera, and you're watching. Like you're interested in what I do anyway because you're on the Twitch channel. So here's what I'm doing. That's kind of what that is.
It was good. It was good. I had my niece's birthday party also this last Saturday, so it kind of worked out that little lad's birthday was rolling around, and we had to take the day off. So like it was good. Went and did that. A couple days prior, we went to this Mega Heart like exhibit at the museum. Took the boys down there, and Tripp's future wife / the one who brothers owned him. So like it was good. So it was good. And then I don't know, like I did a lot this last week, the last 2 weeks. Like I did a whole heck of a lot, but suddenly I can't remember any of it because like I've blanked. I'm like, oh well, we're live.
Because you're on
the only thing that exists now is now, and it's real. It's what I can touch. It's tangible. I can't think of anything, but I don't know. I'm doing Mario month. That's fun. Doing Mario month. Having a good time doing that. And it's been really, really good.
Oh yeah.
You got me jealous because hang on. Hold on.
I was like, Andy's gone.
Trying to find something here. Where is it? I got it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I bought this a couple of months ago and I haven't had a chance to play it. So Yoshi's Island.
Hey, nice. I just wrapped that one.
I saw while I tuned into as much as I could anyway. But you got me wanting to play this again, so I'll probably do a playthrough.
It's really good.
Not on stream.
Really I wouldn't call it a short game.
I gotta be totally honest with you guys. I really don't even feel like streaming games anymore. I'm just like so into all the music stuff, and it's it's just that's where I'm at.
Go with what feels good, you know.
Yep. Fill your cup, Eric Ladd, until it overfloweth. Whatever it is you want.
Yep. I want to fill it with Baja Blast.
Hell yeah.
I thought it was going to be Boss Coffee.
No,
are we still off the coffee train?
No,
You've been drinking coffee. Are you just pushing through? I hate this.
I think I'm pushing through. Like I don't mind it. Like I feel like I've developed more of a taste for it again after having it.
You're like an IPA drinker.
I hate IPA, dude. It tastes
awful,
like shit.
Now it's just
That's
keep
so
drinking
bad.
it.
It's like
he's a coffee hipster now.
I love my hops. It's like look. You don't know what hops are, dude. Just like it tastes.
Just grow that hair out, get a man bun, and just start, being snooty with your coffee. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Let me.
I do like some IPAs. That's like my go-to. That's my go-to beer that I usually drink. Except like you can't tell it because every time I've drank on here, it's always Michelob Ultra, and that's what my wife gets because she likes Granddad beers. and White Claw.
That's all right.
You like that Bush Light?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Good.
But no, it's been good. It's been good.
Drink dishwater, man. Just just have the kids fill the sink, throw a little soap in there, maybe a couple pans or two, and then stay sipped out.
It's just a little straw.
Just that little straw.
It's a tiny straw, like the one that you use as a coffee stir. It'll be
Exactly.
You know what we got to say thank you to?
Who are we going to say thank you to?
We got to say thank you to these wonderful people here. That's not the right one.
Oh, yeah, we do got to say thank you to the wonderful, not us either.
These wonderful people here. So thank you, everybody, for supporting on Patreon. Just remember, if you want more content more often, 3 tiers of it, you can do so at Patreon. The Patreon has been a little bit quiet just because we've had some time off. However, we're looking into some more bonus content stuff and some other celebratory things for the Patreon, which if you subscribe to, you get to see all the pre-show stuff that we actually discuss, so you can get a little bit of a teaser for what you can expect here soon. So also some more Midnight Snack content as well.
Yep. So, and you do get access to like a special channel over in the Discord too, if you're a part of the Breakfast of Champions Discord. So patrons only section. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing some exclusive streams in there as well for patrons. So if you want to, like, we've got a lot of stuff happening. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it that. Well, you know what else is happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
We also, you know what? I was going to flick over to the Newsbyte, but I'm not going to do that because I want to actually look at our audio stats.
That's a good place to put it. I like this.
I like to do that.
Hit us with the stats, brother.
Where are we most listened to?
Stats.
Are we still big in Australia?
Let's look at the last 7 days. So the last 7 days that we didn't upload because we were off. Let's just look at it. So its top city is still Melbourne.
Hey,
Rancho Cucamonga number 2. Yeah, Rancho Cucamonga, like of all our episodes, Rancho Cucamonga is number 2. The Scottish Borders is number 3. Camden, South Carolina, number 4. Germany, Kentucky, London, South Australia, Pennsylvania. So countries: U.S., Australia, UK, Sweden, Germany, Czechia, Singapore, Netherlands, Puerto Rico, and Ireland. Those are our top countries.
We're international dudes.
Yeah.
As many times as I've pled for the Rancho Cucamongans to reach out to us, I think that's how you would refer to them as, the Rancho Cucamongans, to reach out to us. I don't think that has to be routing through a VPN at this point. They would have reached out by now, right?
Maybe.
You would think. And by the way, we don't. Go ahead, KB.
I was just gonna say unless they're shy, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
They could be. Maybe it's just a geographical shyness of the Rancho Cucamongans. They're just like, I'm not. No, I can't. I couldn't possibly.
There's a shroud of secrecy over there.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle.
Pretty much. Speaking of the Bermuda Triangle, if you want to call into the show, you can do so.
No.
And leave a voicemail. It's it doesn't make sense. The number is 1-315-314-4190 if you want to leave a voicemail for next week. Pretty much 100% guarantee yourself a spot next week at the breakfast table. Otherwise, we're going to flick over to our Newsbyte. Oh boy, we got some funny ones this week. Look forward to this. KB, you remember like months ago when it was just you and me pre NW? We talked about NFTs, and it's funny because NFTs have seemingly like vanished. Nobody's talking about NFTs anymore. As NFTs are now we've moved on to AI now.
Yeah. AI is the future.
Everybody's doing the AI generated art. But some people, there was still some scum, some remnants left on the planet. And what's really funny is Square-Enix, the CEO, who was constantly pushing all of the NFT stuff, is now no more. So he's been so whether he was like ousted or pushed out or he stepped down or whatever, I'm not super privy. But yeah, he's there's been a change of hand in the leadership for Square, which honestly is really great.
Yeah.
Because he spent the last few years hyping up NFTs on blockchains. Like, to me personally, I just felt their money sinks. and I had no real interest in them whatsoever. So the as Kotaku describes it, the organizational shakeup happened on Friday, claiming it was needed in order to chase more technological innovation. Thank God, because they've got this new guy who our great friend John Chicken Fillet says looks like a Yakuza boss. And we just need somebody back at the head of Square that's not pushing stuff that we don't care about, and instead innovating games and creative entertainment in a way that we feel is going to be rewarding the gamer, which in my great opinion is like, the games, of course, because Square is synonymous with games. So what do you guys think about this?
Dude, back in the day, when NFTs first started getting popular, I felt like I called the bubble popping on that forever. I mean, I'm not an investor bro by any means. I don't have HODL or diamond hands, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where the idea of having ownership of a JPEG, god dang JPEG, I couldn't fathom it being anything that was tangible for people to actually invest in, and even Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo, the late, he's not late in terms of being dead, but he's no longer the North American president, had talked about NFTs being a valuable piece in gaming, but it has to have the right application. And I think I agree with him more than any other company that's ever tried to shove NFTs down people's throats. Having that kind of stuff stored on blockchain, if you think about Fortnite, for instance, if their NFTs functioned as skins in the game, you have exclusive ownership. Anything in the future that they do in that game, you would be the only one with it. It would be a sense of exclusivity, which would be nice, and it would be a boon to the economy within that video game and within that publisher being Epic. But at the same time, I couldn't see it working in something Square was really putting out. They don't have that kind of drive in what they are doing and what they are developing. It is not. I don't know that I would say Square-Enix makes community-focused games. They do make games that are great for the community, though, just as a whole from a JRPG standpoint. So I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm glad he's gone. Good riddance.
Right. I mean, that's kind of how I feel too. I mean, NFTs didn't really. They're here today, gone tomorrow. It was. We saw the dumpster fire that became, and it's. I haven't heard anything on them anymore after everybody started losing their things on them. So they got hacked a bunch. People lost a lot of money, and there we are. Now this guy is on his way out. So hopefully it means Square getting into. Focusing on some actual tangible projects and not just here's an image that only you can own, but here we go.
Hey, that's my JPEG. How do you have that on your phone?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Silly. I've been looking a lot into Square over the last few days because we didn't have this on our doc, and I figured we'd probably get to it anyway. But Final Fantasy 16 got a bunch of information out, like the series producers and some of the directors and stuff are doing a media tour. They're in Europe, and then they're going to the US or whatever. So there's a lot of people that have been getting some information out of that game, and people are hyped about it. Some people are not hyped about it. So the Square has been making the rounds in the news a lot lately, and I wanted to get your quick opinions here before we move on to our next Newsbyte segment. Are you guys up to it on Final Fantasy 16? What are your thoughts, first impressions, if you've watched anything?
So I've stayed away from it mostly, except for the announcement trailer, and it's mainly because I want that experience to be fairly untainted. I'm not one to be worried about spoilers by any means. That's not typically me, but I just want to experience it firsthand in completion. So I haven't kept up with the news, as so much so that, I mean, even when you had mentioned and this goes for Final Fantasy as a whole, when you mentioned Remake Part 2 was coming out this year, I was like, I didn't even see anything about that because I had basically have that term hidden from my search engines. I'm like, I want to be surprised by everything. So I'm not as up on it as I'd like to be, but KB might be more in it.
I only play good series. Come on.
Well,
I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. I just played Final Fantasy 7 last year. Cut me some slack. Come on.
You casual. Oh my gosh.
Some would argue that you're correct, KB. Some would argue that you are correct.
And they would be wrong.
People are hoping that Final Fantasy 16 has a return to form this year. So we're gonna see. But anyway,
I've heard some things saying it's going to be very different, but I don't know how.
I'm not going to say, because if you don't want any spoilers, then I will not divulge into conversation.
Oh, just this is secondhand. It could be different. Tell me about it. Tell us about it, Eric. Tell us.
The battle system looks exactly like an action RPG, like Devil May Cry.
Oh.
Obviously, it's not going to be turn-based. Because I posted a video about Final Fantasy 16 the other day, and people are like, "Oh, you can't," because I made the argument that having like fully realized character models and stuff that looks realistic doesn't make sense. Because before Final Fantasy 7 Remake came out, everybody was like, "Oh, they're going to do turn-based, or they're going to do like action RPG like Kingdom Hearts." And of course, they're going to do action RPG, because I argued that the turn-based style just wouldn't work. And I had people in the comments saying, "Oh, turn-based and blah, blah, blah. If they do this," it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I would like turn-based to work. Stylistically, it just doesn't make sense to have like, there's freaking dragons flying around and all that stuff, and they're like real character models, and then they just get in the line and start like taking turns, like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So anyway, they're making it a lot more action orientated, and I think it's going to appeal to a lot of casual players.
I mean, 7 Remake was a lot like that.
Yeah.
And then 15 was a lot like that as well. I really loved 15's battle system. I thought that was really cool and unique. The cooldown on the timer. I mean, obviously you can flip everything over to like classic mode and do the turn-based experience, but who does that? Like, I wanted to experience it the way they intended for it to be experienced this time around. And I usually leave things on default settings just in general, typically. Whenever I play games, so it was default, very similar action-oriented RPG with some turn-based elements with cooldown on attacks and magic and all that jazz. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I thought it was fine. Like Final 15 battle system was okay. It was very simplified, and I think it's meant to appeal to a broader range. And like Marky Mark in the chat says, Final Fantasy turn-based, I think, it's a thing of the past. But you have other series like Octopath and Live Alive and all, like even Triangle Strategy and all that stuff, like taking up the helm of the old Square. So basically, what I'm getting to here, which is my final thought on this, is like with a new head of Square, I hope that somebody at the top can manage both expectations for the old fans of Square, like me, and then the newer fans of Square, and just kind of please everybody, rather than like, you want games? No, we NFTs, man. That's where we're at. Anyway,
we do have kind of another topic on that same note. How many of you guys, and by and large, I think a majority of us have at least bought one Funko Pop or have it given to us, have had one given to us. Do you guys own any Funko products at all?
Yep.
A ton.
Yeah.
I'm looking at one that I have sealed in the box. It's the Star Wars Encounter one with C-3PO and the little Ewoks, dude, when they had him on his little throne. I have that right over there on my my Star Wars shelf. So like, I have a ton of I even have some in the basement because I ran out of room. So
listen, you may want to get rid of those real soon, because the market has popped on those as well. Not only NFTs, but also Funkos. They are going the way of ET by getting sent to a landfill. This news comes directly from IGN, talking a little bit about the Funko Pops vinyls line, sending at least $30 million worth of products straight to a landfill, basically making those things legit garbage. Some of the stats here that they have included inventory at year end for Funko totaled $246.4 million worth of inventory product. And that is an increase of 48% compared to a year ago. And the biggest thing that I see from this is the fact that Funkos are overproduced. They are overproduced. There's too many. And even the limited ones, because there are so many, it has kind of limited people wanting to invest in those, because there are so many other ones. The ones that are truly valuable really don't retain their value as much anymore. So I don't know. I'm happy to say that Funko collecting is down.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there were a few, like, I never bought Funkos to like collect in the sense that I thought they were ever going to be worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I did buy Funkos to collect in the sense that I liked the way the figures looked and the stylized versions of these characters that I liked, and they were an affordable, cheap way to get a nice little statue of a character that I otherwise would not be able to get.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Same deal with Amiibos, man. I mean, like Amiibo collecting has kind of been down for a bit, and now with reprints. But Funko, I mean, like it doesn't make sense because like I can walk into EB Games here and get like the Comic-Con limited edition. It's like we're in Australia, dude. Like why am I able to get that here? I mean, I get it, it's cool.
Yeah,
but you know, there you go.
I'm with you.
Just wait for those to be dug up. 30 years they'll be worth something.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, just like the actual ET cartridge.
I mean,
right? So.
I mean, maybe people got tired of cutting them open to try to find the brains inside. You remember seeing that trend people were doing on like TikTok and Instagram and all that?
Dude, when I worked at GameStop, we'd have some of those go what we called penny out, and penny out product. It's product that didn't sell, that won't sell, that the company sends a penny out product list to stores to destroy. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to move. Let's not waste valuable retail space when we've got new inventory incoming. So we would destroy them. And the moment that trend hit the internet, I was like, do you know how many of those I've just shattered the heads on? Like, I know there's nothing inside of there. Get out of here. Stop it. Stop telling people that. Because then I'd have people coming and doing dumpster dives out back going, oh, I bet they throwed away a freaking Funko Pop and 15 copies of 2K20. And it's like, no, go away. You're wrong. But that was crazy. That was a funny trend. That was stupid.
But I mean, it's a shame to see him go, but hey, you know, this is kind of something we had mentioned it, I think, a few episodes ago. We had talked about Detective Pikachu and how like we didn't see anything on that recently. You know, they wanted to do a sequel. It's been kind of up in the air. Then there was the I think one of the actors was saying like, yeah, I would do it, but I haven't heard anything on it. Well, they finally have negotiations on a director. They nabbed Portlandia co-creator Jonathan Kreisel, and he is
Jonathan Chrysler.
Jonathan Chrysler, right? But he's in negotiations to direct the Pokemon Detective Pikachu live action sequel based on the globally popular Pokemon franchise. Go figure. But it's I'll tell you what, dude, I'm very excited to see this. I'm curious to see if we're gonna get, because I see they're talking about Ryan Reynolds being in it. Obviously, he was in the first one. He was the voice of spoiler alert. He was the voice of old Pikachu. But I'm curious to see who's going to come back. They say here that it grossed more than $430 million worldwide, so that's not too bad for kind of like a video game movie. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for it because I really enjoyed the Detective Pikachu movie. I mean, I know last time we talked about it, we were kind of trying to think what direction they would go to with a sequel. So I know I saw that and I was pretty geeked. I think you were streaming Nerdwire and I'm like, yo, I'm like freaking out in your chat, dude. I want to see it again. The world that they set up, some of those Pokemon look freaky, dude. And like,
yeah, some of them look real weird. I'm with you.
I wouldn't mind seeing the weird Pokemon again. Like I was after
weird Charizard, weird Mewtwo back.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny that they did that because remember during that Pokemon Direct, they had that really hyper realistic animatronic Pikachu.
That was so weird,
so
dude.
like,
oh my god.
Maybe they
worse
were
than
like
the Mario toys. Maybe.
But yeah, no, I'm very much excited to hear this. I hope negotiations go through and they can get on with they have a script. They're getting their director. It sounds like so. Let's go. Like,
let's go, Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I don't know. How do you? I am happy that the video game movie industry is continuing to thrive to an extent, but like, I feel like that story's been. What are they going to do? Just put Ryan Reynolds back into Pikachu's body? Like, is that how we're going to do this? Like, sure. I feel like it has to be
your guess is as good as anybody's. Honestly, I have no idea because that was like a fully encapsulated one-off story for me. Like, of course, people are going to want to see more because Why wouldn't I want to see Torterra in full 4K HD? You know what I mean? Like, cool. I mean, what's next? I don't know.
Like I thought, at the end of the day, I thought we were going to get the sequel to the video game before we got the sequel to the movie. Like Detective Pikachu 1 is locked away on the 3DS.
I know.
It's the only way to play that, and there hasn't been another one, and I can't believe they're making 2 movies based in that kind of somewhat similar universe. It's crazy. You know what else is crazy though? Making things. I will tell you this much: there's a new company out there that is making a gaming mouse that has more buttons than a keyboard. This is coming from Corsair, the Corsair BM4050990 mouse made specifically for gamers and streamers. Boasts 128 buttons, according to the new press release from the company. The Corsair CEO Andy Paul is quoted as saying, "Everyone knows that binding keys to your mouse in a game makes you better at the game. Well, why should you have to use your dumb keyboard at all?" said Corsair CEO Andy Paul. "So we filled this bad boy up with so many buttons you can map one onto every single key on your keyboard and have some left over. Have fun crushing everyone with one hand while doing whatever the heck you want with the other." Honestly, I am a big fan of this. I love the look. I think the mouse wheel there has some good tread, some good traction, because I mean, if you're out there and you're gaming super hard, you're going to need to have as much grip as you can possibly get out of that scroll finger, because I mean, you're going to be busy pressing all the buttons. This mock-up here, honestly, they've said this is not just only a mock-up. This is actual post-production image quality here too. So expect that to be out on your shelves as possible, as soon as possible. At $1 per button, $128 is hard to swallow for a mouse, but it does give you the ease of having 128 buttons all at once.
Oh man,
I think it's functional. I think there's a lot of people that in the esports industry that could benefit from something like that, like a FaZe Clan or whatever. I'm sure they'll probably sponsor that, or you know. So pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think it'd be good. Maybe at some point we can get sponsored by Corsair. I think that could have a really good application here in the podcast universe too. I mean, they did say streamers just in general. So
I mean, like I've got my mouse here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a cool little mouse, but I think it changes colors as well. Like I think. Sorry, that actually does something.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry.
Hey, look at all those buttons you have on there.
So see, with all those buttons, I could hit all the scenes and transitions. Oh my god, I can't believe that worked. That did something. I'm shocked.
Hey.
Oh man. But no, that kind of wraps up the news for the day. It's time for topic, isn't it? You want to flip on over? Aaron, take it away.
All right. So, topic today, fellas. Handhelds have certainly grown in popularity over the years, with many gamers now turning to devices like Nintendo Switch or the Steam Deck for their gaming needs. While traditional consoles and gaming PCs still dominate the market, there are several reasons why handhelds could be seen as the future of gaming. How has handheld gaming shaped the video game industry as a whole, and what does the future look like for handheld gaming? Who wants to take this one?
I have feelings.
You have feelings.
You guys, I think you guys are going to have a hot debate, so I'll just give you my quick 2 seconds. Honestly, like, so okay, let me preface this. This entire show was planned by KB here, which is fantastic. This is the KB show, and I'm all for it. You're very passionate about your Steam Deck. I'm passionate about my Steam Deck as well. I love Game Boy Advance, all that stuff. The Nintendo made a really smart decision in 2017, merging handheld and home console stuff. And of course, we've speculated for many episodes of what's next for Nintendo. Blah blah blah. Is it going to be super? I don't know, but just not even just in Nintendo in general, but like, what does the handheld market look for specifically? Look like in 2023 and beyond. It's hard to say, honestly. I cannot guess any one specific thing. There are companies like, oh my god, I almost said Ouya. whatever the Aya Neo and the Aya Pro, like the Odins, all that stuff. Like that's a third party company doing their own thing, which is basically an emulation machine. You have Steam Deck, which is their own thing. That's a handheld that you can dock. You've got the Switch, and then there are other things like the Analog Pocket, which is really cool. I want one really bad. Then you've got your resurgence of Game Boy Color. People are modding those. Like, it is a really weird kind of Wild West scenario for handhelds. But is anybody going to do a brand new handheld? I know that there was this company that came out with this little yellow handheld with the crank on it.
The Playdate.
The Playdate.
Yeah.
That was something new, and people were hyped about that. I'm thinking, my God, that looks like a mini solar panel toy. Like, I don't understand the appeal. So
it's a novelty item.
It's a novelty
It's
item.
a novelty item. I wouldn't call that a gaming console by any means, but you can game on it, and that's its sole purpose. But it is a novelty item. Tiger Electronics-esque.
Very. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm open to anything, but for me, like, I just like my legacy stuff. I like my retro stuff. That's it. So you guys go ahead. Unleash the beast.
Nerdwire, I'll let you have the floor.
Okay, I will tell you guys. I've got several handhelds that surround me right now. I've got my Steam Deck here. It collected dust. I had to dust off the screen because I could not. I cannot bring myself to play on this thing as often as I would like to. I have my Nintendo Switch like right over here, docked up, and it is exactly that. It's docked up. It does give me convenience. I've got the opportunity to undock it and take it portable if I want to. But I will tell you this much, and this is where I land on it. On the main question is, what does the future look like for handheld gaming? And it's this. This is the future for me for handheld gaming. Handheld gaming as a whole, I think, encapsulates the pick up and playability of video games in a way that retro gaming actually creates an environment for that. You can pick it up, you can play it for a little bit, you can put it in sleep mode, you can step away from it, you can save it, you can do all of these different things with it. But I can tell you this much, every time I play a modern day cinematic experience, I don't want to play it on this. This is going to be 30 frames a second, 1080p at best. I don't want to play it on that. I want to play it in the way that the developer intended for it to be seen, which is 4K, which is 60 frames per second. Maybe in the future, who knows? It could be even higher. But right now, as a whole, within the gaming ecosystem and the gaming ecosphere, I do not see a place where handheld gaming becomes the forefront of gaming. And I think everything still stays predominantly on consoles. Because like I said, when I'm playing this, 9 times out of 10 with very few games, I'm playing this docked. And if you look at a poll of Nintendo Switch users, 70% of users play it docked. 70% of users play it docked. So, do I think it has its place? Yes, I think handheld gaming has its place. But I don't think it is the future of gaming by any means.
So part of that I agree with. The part I don't agree with is the analog pocket part. I don't think that's because that's just lumped in with the nostalgia hit. That's Chinese consoles.
The past of gaming. All right, I'll go bust out the Game Boys out the case, but it's the past of gaming.
It's the past of gaming. But how many carts have you used in it? Has it like you use it for emulation more than actually playing carts? Tell me I'm wrong.
Leave my desk. I
tell me
do
I'm wrong,
currently
though.
use it for emulation more than carts. Yes.
So therefore, you could have got a Miu Mini and had the same experience because it's, again, emulation handheld. That's I feel like the emulation handhelds have their place because they're hitting you on that nostalgia. You don't want to play Game Boy on this giant thing because it's gonna be letterboxed all to hell. I mean, you don't want that. You want to play it on something that feels like a Game Boy, and that's where the Analog Pocket does do something really good, is it makes it feel like a Game Boy. To me, I don't think handhelds are the future of gaming. I think they're the future convenience of gaming. Because, like you said, dude, my Switch sits in the dock. I don't know. I bought a Switch Lite to play handheld if I ever want to play handheld, because I want something small that I can carry around.
Yep.
I don't ever play my Switch out of the dock. That poor thing sits in there all the time. My Steam Deck, and this is another point that I can get 60 frame a second games on there, but you have to fiddle with it. So like if you want to just turn it on and go, you're not gonna have that console feel unless you're gonna take 10 minutes and mess with it. If you want to just jump on, you're gonna be like, all right, well,
Proton DB, dude. You got to look for those, the platinum and whatever ratings.
Old Nerdwire just turns it on and goes.
Yeah, he just wants to play games.
I'm just like, I want to play my, and I would argue that's probably the vast majority of users.
And that's what I was going to say. The average user is going to turn it on and just play a game. They're not going to be looking to optimize their game to fit their needs. Mm-hmm. There was a point in handheld gaming's lifetime that I thought it was going to go away. The 3DS was selling okay. They didn't have any games to bring you over. The Vita was dead like a year and a half into its life. So like I thought for a second we weren't going to get any more handhelds.
I remember 10 years ago when that was a thing. Like people were questioning, is this still going to be a thing? Because nobody's going to go travel and stuff, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, yeah, the Switch. If it wasn't for the Switch to be the home console in your go-to portable, we wouldn't have things like a Steam Deck or the Aya Neo or the Odin or whatever the hell else. We wouldn't have that stuff without it. That's why I think with Nerdwire, handhelds have their place. If it wasn't for somebody saying, "Man, I wish I could play my Nintendo right now," we wouldn't have a Game Boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely.
And look at even back then. I mean, when we did that ranking episode, there's a ton of handhelds that were out there. There was one point the handheld market was so flooded with tech. Now, I mean, it's kind of like that now, but it's all emulation machines. It's all portable PCs. Like that's all the Steam Deck is. It's a handheld, but it's a portable PC. It's a laptop without a keyboard. Like
definitely.
So like for me, as much as a handheld gamer I am, it has its place, but I don't think it's the future of it. I think it's the future convenience. It's the Switch is showing that, like, all right, if I want to hop on a plane and go to Australia, well, I'll bring my Steam Deck and my Switch. Then you know what I mean? I don't have to I have my consoles with me. I'm good, but I also still have my handhelds with me. So it's like, I'm getting the best of both worlds, you know what I mean?
Here, just kind of an additional couple of thoughts there. Eric mentioned something during his talk where that transition away from 3DS to creating the Switch. The thing that was best about that is it brought two different types of developers under one roof. They weren't. They didn't have to have separate departments that were making stuff for the 3DS and separate departments that were making stuff for the Switch. Or for the Wii U, rather, at the time. Now they have it all under one roof, one house, one development company, one vision, one goal. And that brings me to kind of my next point there is that at the end of the day, software is what is going to sell a console. A console will not sell a console. What you can play on it will sell that console. And it kind of goes back to the argument that we talked about 2 weeks ago, where the reason that we don't play our PS5s is because there's nothing exclusive there. It doesn't keep me tethered to that. The reason I play my Nintendo Switch is because all the Nintendo stuff is on there. It will never show up anywhere else except through illegal means. And in that same sense, because Nintendo gives me an option to play in either portable mode or docked mode, I will play it docked as a home console through the experience that those people have given me at Nintendo. But kind of as that final follow-up piece there, if a console maker makes a portable console and they get software companies that put out exclusive software directly onto those portable consoles, and that's the only way that you can play them, count me in. Count me in if it's good. If it's good, if it's worthwhile, if it's worth my time and my money to invest in that specific thing. But I don't think handheld gaming is necessarily the future of gaming. And we're only answering like half of your prompt here too, KB.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the question of how has handheld gaming shaped the video game industry as a whole. And that's kind of my final pinpoints here. Handheld gaming shaped the video game industry continually by giving people what you talked about here, the convenience factor.
Mm-hmm.
It made people who are not what you would call console gamers in general. It made people like grandmas and moms go out and grab a Game Boy to play Tetris. It converted people who wanted to play maybe freaking Animal Crossing New Horizons that would have never touched a video game ever in their life. And it's because they can still keep on their 5 o'clock news in the background and listen to their golden oldies while they're playing Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think handheld gaming had a hand in shaping the video game industry more directly than anyone even recognizes out there, and in ways that I cannot articulate right now because I don't know that I know how to connect the dots. But what I will say is that it creates an environment where people can just pick up and play, and oftentimes handheld game systems are significantly cheaper entry points than your full-fledged consoles or PCs. Absolutely.
I mean, when you were talking about software sells consoles, look at Steam's previous tech that they made.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, they had their little Steam machine,
Steam
and
Link.
Mm-hmm.
their library wasn't as robust as it is now. I mean, the whole reason I got a Steam Deck was the fact I could have that whole PC, everything from the past, let's say 20 years on it. That's incentive to play it, you know what I mean? Or to get one. But like as far as everything else, like how has it shaped everything? I mean, just look at like you said, you have people who necessarily wouldn't get a Xbox One, but they'll get a Switch because I'll play it handheld. Let me ask this, Eric. Whenever you guys, when your son was born, how nice was it to have a handheld console when you're doing baby duties? You know what I mean? Well, same with you, Cody. Like
Animal Crossing, dude.
You know what it was like.
I mean,
I think I've told that story about like laying my Switch directly on top of my son and spreading the Joy-Cons while he's like laying in the pillow, the waist pillow, the nursing pillow, in my lap, and I just set the tablet on him because he laid so still, and I would just spread my arms because I was so tired of just constantly holding all the time.
But like, how you would have been able to play a game on your console, but if you had to go to like, where like whatever room he's in, you can't. You might not have a TV, you might not have your PlayStation set up there.
Yep.
So like it's shaping that because people probably had their Game Boys whenever that was the thing, and people probably had their Game Gears and their Atari Lynx and what have you. But I mean, overall, it's the evolution of it is the fact you can now take your AAA games wherever you want to be, and that right there is enough for me to say that it's gonna be a convenience.
I don't think people give enough credit to the handheld industry because if you look at two separate points in gaming, you have the Game Boy, the trajectory of the Game Boy. I mean, of course, the Tetris was a pack-in game. That was a huge deal. So gaming was redefined with the Game Boy back, I think, in 89 when that came out, or 1990.
89, I believe.
And then the Switch. The Switch redefined it. Because you had the Game Boy, you had the Game Boy Light, the Pocket, the Color, the Game Boy Advance, all that stuff. The DS was great as well, but it was just a continuation of what the Game Boy was doing. All those years later. But then the Switch reinvented the wheel. It combined both that AAA anyway, at least on the Switch, and the convenience thing. So the Game Boy and the Switch are probably Nintendo's two most important consoles, at least in handheld anyway. And the Switch is that weird kind of chameleon. But Cody, you mentioned a point of if a hardware developer comes out with a console and has exclusive software on it, I'm all for it. See, this is the thing, is like, this is why the Analog Pocket is really appealing to me, because I have this really weird block in my brain that I cannot emulate. I cannot do it. I cannot bring myself to do it. So, I mean, I've got Super Nintendo, I've got all these great games. My N64 will be here next week, and I'm looking at buying complete in-box games for that. There's something in me that I have to have the original experience. PlayStation games, I don't mind emulating, because I've always played those on like PSP, PSP Go, Vita. That's just something else. But like, if I'm going to have it like the way that I had it when I grew up, I have to have it how it was. I need to see that N64 box art. I need to see that, you know, Super Nintendo cartridge. So having a way to access Game Boy games, you know, for example, with the Analog Pocket, makes it really cool. And I can overlook that it's not an actual Game Boy because it's something a little bit more premium. Yeah. So in 2023, it's a really weird amalgamation of options, freedom of choice for people, because we have Analog Pocket, we have the Steam Deck, we have Switch, we have all this other stuff that just allows us to express ourselves in whatever way that we want and play however we want to play. But obviously, there's, you know, that's the inevitable $1 million question is, what's next? I don't know.
So I went and got a couple of things, because like I said, I love my Analog Pocket. I genuinely do. I think it is a perfect Game Boy all the way up through SNES experience. As far as what you're getting for one-to-one emulation, it is functioning effectively from the core that it has in it on a 1-to-1 ratio for emulation. You're going to experience the same hiccups that an NES would experience. You're going to experience the same chip experiences that you would get out of a SNES. You're going to have the Game Boy experience as an all-in-one. But that's the thing, is it is the convenience factor. If I could easily stream my retro stuff directly to my stream, I probably maybe wouldn't have gotten this. But it is that convenience, and I think that's, to KB's point, it is a system of convenience that I can just pick this up and play it. I've got my ROMs library on there. The good news about it is that if I want to go the purest retro route, I can also do that through the cartridge slot in the back. And I popped off stream there for a couple of seconds to grab a couple of games that literally you cannot emulate. Zoid's Legacy, heck yes. So I went and got Yoshi's Tilt and Tumble, or Gravitation, whatever, blah 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 it is in the UK. I went and got WarioWare Twisted. I want to get Boktai. I haven't gotten it.
Oh yeah.
We got the Game Boy Camera. These things are not emulatable. Like, none of these cartridges are anything you can emulate. And I think there is something to be said about that purist experience that you want to have, Eric. And that's the joy that I do have about this console, because at the end of the day, you know, maybe I lied a little bit. Maybe a console did sell a console and software didn't. But the Analog Pocket gave me such a convenience factor out of all the stuff that I already have, that I can just pop in it and play it at any time. And then factored in the extra bit that I can play my entire library of things that I've preserved off of the internet and from my cartridges. That maybe, I mean, you know, I think that's wherein the benefit of handhelds lie, is how convenient can they make it for the user. That's why the Steam Deck is successful. And that's why the Analog Pocket constantly is sold out. So it's the convenience factor. It may not be your dedicated place, but all of these handhelds have always been, except for my analog, have been periphery to my main console. They are accessory to that. It's if I'm bored, I will grab the portable one if I'm out and about, versus going and sitting down at my desk and booting up my PC.
You know, one more thing I wanted to bring up. You know, how did this, you know, become and shape the industry? I mean, look at, so you had all those handheld games, and then you end up with a smartphone. How, you know, you can consider mobile gaming handheld gaming. You're not playing all those mobile games on your PC. You're not playing them all on your TV. So like, you could kind of take, you know, if you're looking at everything as like a family tree, Mobile gaming absolutely belongs in a branch off of handheld stuff. I mean, look at Angry Birds, man. Hell, Flappy Bird was a strange addiction of everybody's. Like, and that was a
Flappy Bird for Game Boy, by the way.
That's to you. But that's a simple game. That was and that's all handheld games were. I mean, I thought that, and this was me because I didn't know too much about Trip World when I played it. I thought it was a longer game, and here you can fly right through it and it's done. I mean, but a lot of handheld stuff is shorter. You know, it's supposed to be a pick up and play and you're done, like you were saying. So, like, absolutely, did that kind of shape a little bit into the mobile scene that has become mobile gaming? I think so. I mean, without all that stuff, we probably wouldn't have had. I mean, I think we would have had mobile gaming eventually, but I think it wouldn't have been as prevalent as it was.
As successful.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have hit their stride as early without that knowledge of, oh, this needs to be pick up and play. It doesn't need to be something that, like, you have to invest 60 hours to beat the story in.
Look at Mario Run. I mean, look at Mario Kart Tour. I mean, look at the Dr. Mario game, which is now pulled, or Miitopia.
That was such a good game.
You know what I mean?
It's dead.
So Nintendo's had their hands in that. Yeah, it's hard to deny the importance of mobile gaming. I personally don't dabble, but I got to say that Fire Emblem game that came out on iOS a couple years ago was pretty damn good.
Fire Emblem Heroes is really good.
I was pretty addicted
It's like my go-to. I go out and grind out some platinum points real quick if I need them for a Nintendo like reward center thing. I love that game, and it has like an auto mode too. So if you don't want to be focused, you don't have to be focused. You can just press auto battle, and it just does it and wins if you've got a good team. So it's good.
Let me ask you to this because this is kind of like my final thought on it. What do you see? What do you see in the future of handheld gaming? Like, we know Nintendo's going to keep doing their thing. That's kind of like their niche little thing. They've been the home console and the handheld console maker and dominator in that industry. What do you see from like other things? Do you think we're going to keep seeing these Chinese handhelds come out, evolve, and maybe kind of be on par with the Switch or a Switch Lite? Or, do you think that's just going to stop one day? People are going to be over it.
In terms of hardware, 100%. Some of the Aya Odins or they're way more powerful than the Switch, but they'll never be up at that pedestal that the Switch is on. There's just a freedom of choice for people who want to have these emulation machines, which are really powerful. And that those companies, those third brand companies or third party companies, will continue to fill that market with that. I would love to see a Sony come back with a new PlayStation handheld. We talked about it the other day. I don't know how likely it is or how possible it is now in 2023. But I'd pre-order that. I'd be in line. Yep. I would support that. Like, that's the Sony that I want to have back. I mean, we really shat on Sony last episode, but I would really love to support Sony in that way if they came back. That's my wish list, number one.
I think there are 3 branches there for that. I think emulation handhelds get to the point where they can emulate all the way up through last generation. I think that continues to happen. I think first party handheld consoles continue to exist. First party, and what I'm talking about is like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft even. Microsoft's really focusing hard on cloud-based gaming though, so I don't know that we see anything other than that go directly to phones. But I think the third piece there is, and this is for me the real future that would pique my interest, is an even more seamless experience from going portable to console that isn't me taking my full console. Like, let's talk about Steam Deck. Let's talk about that. Let me play this, not have to wait on a cloud save to upload. Literally, I power this down, I turn on my PC, I can pick up and play. I'm seeing simultaneous screen movement at the same time. It's not streaming, it is the same experience under both devices. A unified experience, not with no seams. That's what I think is the true future of portable gaming more than anything.
I agree.
I agree with that. You pretty much hit the nail on the head for me. I don't think I would love to see Sony come out with something. I doubt Microsoft ever will, because why do they need to? xCloud. You can play it on anything. You can play it on your TV, your Tesla, whatever you want.
Yep.
So why do they need a handheld? Nintendo's going to keep doing Nintendo things until their investors say, sorry, no more. We're done funding you.
That's not gonna happen. That's not
exactly.
Happen.
So like, I don't know. I would love to see, because like I got this. This is my little Anbernic guy. I mean, I used to play on this before, and it served its purpose. I mean, it was cool, but I would love to see something here. Like I know I have an Odin, and that was really cool, but I'd love to see something, man, that could run Windows 10, but not pay, $1,500 for it. Like, give me the $300 version of that, and let it run Windows 10 or Windows 11, whatever, and then I could have a Linux handheld and a PC one, like a a Windows one.
I want this in this form factor. Something truly portable. I can't really take this anywhere.
No,
I can't take this anywhere. Like, this is cumbersome. Like I want something truly portable, and even the Analog Pocket is on the edge of not being portable.
Well, this is the thing. Here's your portable here. Then this is the thing. It's like there are so many ways for developers now, and even companies like to like, this is the future of handheld here, because people can, like, you could do your Microsoft stuff on here. Just get a backbone controller. The thing is like the technology is evolving. We're not going to see those cartridge-based handhelds anymore.
No. I wish Analog would have made a Pocket not this way, but that way.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, I loved the GBA, dude. The SP was cool, but I really like the form factor of that.
It's perfect.
Screen in the middle and buttons on the side. It's perfect. Like, what else? Like, if they would say, hey, we have Analog Pocket 2 and it's GBA style, I'll buy 5 of them.
I'll buy it.
Call me a purist, but I like the GBA SP. I like the original DMG model, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Light. I love all those form factors. That's comfy to me. My all-time, so as much as I love the GBA form factor, the Pocket, dude, the Pocket is my most favorite, it's basically that, but bigger.
I like the smaller one, man. I like the smaller feel to it. If the Analog Pocket was a little smaller, like, that's,
Noticed in the chat says, I like my handhelds like I like my women. He says WIDE wide. And that's for you boys. You guys know I like a tall woman. So,
You like that 4K.
That's very true.
Yeah, give me that tall woman.
All right. Well,
big lady.
There's a lot to unpack for the handheld thing. And I think the thing is like, I like speculating on that because there really is no clear answer for what's next. Oh. Handheld gaming does exist and can exist and does thrive in 2023. What's next? Your guess is as good as mine. But for now, let's wrap this sucker up.
Let's wrap it. Amber in the chat. That brings me joy. Thank you, Amber, in the live chat with the big lady.
You know what else can bring joy?
What else can bring joy?
Television shows, sitcoms.
Oh man,
I don't know whose suggestion this was, but what's the best sitcom, past or present? You guys answer that one.
You don't have an answer? Do you just not like TV, Eric?
He doesn't like anything.
I don't like nothing. I didn't ask for this.
That's Kitsune Bites' role. That's Aaron over here. He's the one who doesn't like nothing.
I gotta say,
hey man,
I'll answer this quickly because you guys can have field day with your answers. So sitcom, So sitcom is like like a live TV audience sitcom, or just like a television show?
Any show.
Give your answer. What's your favorite? Quote unquote sitcom?
Well, sitcom, like a live TV audience show. I mean, like my answer would be Big Bang Theory. Like I thought it was like Mimi and cringy, good. With the whole Bazinga thing. But actually, I ended up watching that with Amber a couple of years ago, and we binged the hell out of it. And I thought that was a really great show.
Yeah,
Have you seen that show without the laugh track?
Yeah, it's
watch it without the laugh track.
It's awkward.
Then you get exactly what you thought it was going to be.
Mimi and cringy. Yeah, I know.
Oh, no.
I'm not being prompted to laugh. What is this? Was that a joke?
No. I know. So bad.
It's good though. It's good. What about you, KB? What do you like the best?
Man, there's so
You just
many.
start one though, didn't you?
I just started one. It's old, but I just started it. I mean, I love a good sitcom, man. I can't help it. I love a good sitcom. I love a good HBO series, man. I watch too much trash TV, to be honest with you.
Not as much as my wife does. She's a big fan of Teen Mom OG, man. Teen Mom OG.
Listen.
The Circle on Netflix.
Listen. That Teen Mom OG might be fine, but dude, I've been watching Below Deck since the fucking.
Is that trash TV? What is that? What is that show? Oh, you dropped a spicy word there. Spicy word.
Listen, dude. Listen. If you have Bravo
We've been
TV,
doing so good for the past 3-4 shows.
Well, leave it to me to mess that record up.
It's fine.
Listen, dude. Below Deck. There's Below Deck Australia, Below Deck Mediterranean, Below Deck Caribbean. Then there's Below Deck Sailboat Edition. There's dude. Oh my God, it's
Sailboat
so good.
Edition. Now you've piqued my interest. But anyway,
it's sailing yachts, dude. It's you have to watch it. It's
is
so
it trash
good. But
TV? Is this like Jersey Shore trash TV?
Yep. It's reality
That's not
TV
a sitcom.
show. I know. I'm getting there. But that's my key trash TV. Anyhow,
Below Deck
my actual
Titanic.
Oh no,
bro.
She's not getting in the lifeboat.
No.
Let me tell you though. Okay, so best sitcom, man. My all-time cherished one is forever going to be Home Improvement, right?
Oh man, that's a good one.
But my modern one is going to be Modern Family. The one that I started is Parks and Recreation. The Office is good too. I also didn't really like Parks and Recreation because I'm like, they're ripping off The Office.
I didn't like it.
They're in the same universe.
I know, and then I found out they're in the same universe. Now I want to watch it. Yeah,
you didn't like it? Oh my God! Well, I better go before I blow my top.
I like it now. No, I like it now. I like it now. So like, I'm on it. I mean, I was waiting for Eric to say he was, Married with Children was his sitcom of choice.
Ooh, that would make sense, actually. What?
You never watched? What?
You basically are Ted Bundy.
Yeah, you are. It's Al Bundy, not Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was the murderer.
My bad. I meant Al Bundy. We all know Al Roker. Smuckers. With a name like that, it's got to be 109 years old playing me off, Weather.
Yeah,
but
anyway. You basically are Al Bundy, Eric. I mean.
Okay.
My bad. Okay, so here's the deal. I've got like 3 categories here. Classic sitcom, 90s sitcom, and quote unquote modern sitcom. Right. Classic sitcom, I was in between here. But I think in my top quote unquote classic sitcom has to be the Andy Griffith Show. I think the Andy Griffith Show for a classic syndicated television comedy is going to be that. So if I were to say my 90s favorite, Malcolm in the Middle. 1000%.
I didn't like that show until later. Like when I was an adult was when I liked that show.
I didn't catch it till I was an adult. So
Really?
like I watched it as an adult. I didn't catch it live whenever it was happening. Very much I didn't catch Andy Griffith's show live whenever it was happening either. So let me be clear, I'm not 1,000.
Well,
but as an adult, there's a lot of stuff that I understood and related to, and in reflection, it made me very nostalgic for that era and that time frame. It was really, really, really good. And then my number one, like modern, and I guess I can qualify this as modern, is actually Parks and Rec. It is Parks and Rec. I love Parks and Rec.
It's so good. I don't even call it Parks and Rec, dude. I just look at Mrs. KB and I go, can we watch Nope?
No. Can we watch Nope? Can we watch Andy, please?
No, dude. I'll tell you what would have been an honorable mention for me would have been Scrubs, dude. Because Scrubs was that goofy, like they tried to be a little bit serious, but like you still had that goofball cast, and it's good. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Family Matters, honorable mention.
Yeah. What about
Steve
Lost?
Urkel. That's more drama, less sitcom-y, I feel like. I liked Lost.
Lost is real good.
I liked Lost.
Anybody watch the OC here? Any fans of the OC?
I mean, I watched Laguna Beach, man. I mean, that felt like the OC.
I haven't. See, this is the thing. It's like I haven't watched TV in years. Legit, like we'll just watch YouTube shows or whatever. But I just, man, I just got out of the TV game years and years ago, and I just never went back since. I don't watch any shows, sitcoms, or nothing.
That's kind of how I was until a couple years ago when I had time on my hands that I'm like, well, I guess I'll watch something. Let's see what's good on Netflix or, Hulu or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'll watch this. I mean, my growing up, dude, King of the Hill was always like King of the Hill's on, gotta watch it. So them having a
animated
new
sitcom,
sitcom, King of the Hill, and they're coming out with a new one.
Yep, that's right.
That's what I hear.
King of the Hill goodness. So
that's what I hear. Let's do it. I do love me some King of the Hill.
But anyway, those are my picks. I like your picks. Eric, you need to watch some TV.
I need to get educated.
Watch Married with Children at least. At least you two, but it's probably there.
Okay. I can do that.
Oh man, thank you guys so much for coming and watching today and listening and hanging out with us in the live chat for those of you that are here, and for those of you that aren't here and are listening to the audio version on wherever you can find all of your favorite podcasts. Thank you as well. Sonic says gotta go fast.
The blue blur, dude. Gotta go fast. Well, again, thank you everybody for being here and watching the show. Just remember, if you want to get more content more often, you can go subscribe on Patreon. Starting next week, we'll be back with some more great things. So thank you, everybody who can
go fast and subscribe on Patreon.
Yeah, go fast and subscribe there because there's going to be some good stuff coming here in the next few weeks. Not only that, if you're listening on Spotify, I think last I checked, where did my phone go? Last I checked, I think we had like 21 5-star ratings on Spotify, which was really, really, really nice. So we appreciate all y'all over there. So let's see. Breakfast of Champions, we have 21 5-star ratings. Let's try and get those iTunes ratings up there if anybody's listening on iTunes. And share with your friends. And you can watch the show on YouTube as well. We're going to have some new highlight reels thanks to KB getting down and dirty with Premiere Pro.
Hey, finally. Took me long enough.
Yeah. Well, it's a good show otherwise. Any final words for episode 32? 3-2?
Bazinga.
Don't forget your towel.